Welcome to this explainer for confidence architecture. Look, today we're completely reframing a concept that honestly gets a pretty bad rap: selling. We're diving deep into Grant Cardone's foundational book, Sell or Be Sold. For way too long, selling has just been viewed as this transactional, almost dirty chore, right? Well, today, we are elevating it. Selling is actually the fundamental, elegant prerequisite for getting exactly what you desire in life. Whether you're pitching in a boardroom, working retail, or even just negotiating dinner plans with your partner, you are selling. Grant Cardone lays out this absolutely foundational premise. Survival is fully dependent upon your ability to sell. We really have to discard that sleazy stereotype of the pushy salesperson. The reality is, if your ideas aren't being adopted, or if your business isn't growing, you are simply failing to sell. It's a harsh truth, for sure, but it's also incredibly liberating. Because when you realize that literally every interaction is a negotiation, you finally take ownership of your outcomes.
All right, let's jump right into section 1, the most important sale, which is all about supreme conviction.
So, the core philosophical anchor here is this. You absolutely cannot convince another soul to buy into your idea if you aren't entirely convinced yourself. It's a stark contrast. On one hand, you have the unconvinced fraud, the person who makes excuses when sales are slow, blaming the economy or the price. But then you have the fanatical believer who is 100% sold. As Amy Cuddy explores in her research on presence, true persuasion has to start inwardly. You literally must be so unreasonably, fanatically sold on your own value that no other option even enters your mind. And here's the fascinating part. When that absolute internal certainty finally takes hold, it externalizes. Former FBI agent Joe Navarro's work on nonverbal behavior shows this perfectly, specifically with the steepling of the hands. It's a universal sign of confidence. When you're fully sold on yourself, your body language just naturally broadcasts this unspoken, unshakable resolve into literally any room you enter.
Moving right along to Section 2, the art of agreement, or how to flow with resistance.
This is perhaps the most counterintuitive yet absolutely vital rule of human dynamics: continuous agreement. Look, fighting a prospect is basically like swimming against a deadly current. It's exhausting and it gets you nowhere. The master persuader agrees with the individual's reality first. It aligns perfectly with what behavioral experts like Navarro call mirroring, building deep rapport by reflecting someone's state. If a kid doesn't want to go to school, the amateur argues with them. The professional? They agree. They say, "Hey, I didn't want to go to school on Fridays either. Now get dressed and let's go." You acknowledge, you align, and then you guide.
Cardone puts it incredibly bluntly. Agreeing with the customer is senior to all other rules in selling. He says it's even senior to actually closing the deal. Whether you're in a high-stakes business negotiation or just having a simple dispute at home, starting from a place of "you're right" or "I totally agree" is the ultimate protocol of influence. It just instantly disarms their resistance and saves you from drowning in endless, exhausting objections. Which tees up Section 3 perfectly: decoding the unspoken and really learning how to read the room. To authentically agree with someone, you have to know what's actually happening in their head. And remember this: distrust in any interaction is always your problem, never theirs. If someone tells you they need time to think about it, well, they've already made a decision. It's just not yours. The professional delves into what the buyer did not say, actively hunting for those silent objections, hiding behind polite smiles. Pulling again from Joe Navarro's clinical FBI observations, true mastery is all about reading those nonverbal cues. Look really closely at a person's feet. When you're interacting with someone, their feet loudly broadcast their true comfort level. A sudden shift or a foot pivoting straight toward the door reveals that they're uncomfortable or ready to leave long before they ever utter a single word. Or, going back to what we mentioned earlier, watch for intertwined hands transitioning into a slight steeple. That is a massive tell, indicating careful, controlled analysis. By catching these physical tells early on, you transition from being just a mere talker to a true artist of human behavior. You can literally pivot in real time, agree with their unspoken hesitation, and seamlessly rebuild that bridge of trust.
Now, Section 4, show, do not tell. Providing the hard evidence of trust.
Once you've successfully read the room, you have to bridge the gap of modern skepticism. Consumers today are fiercely guarded against slick promises, and honestly, can you blame them? Words alone breed distrust. You need documentation. An amateur just spews technical data, effectively turning the buyer into a confused zombie. But the professional, they replace empty claims with genuine inquiry and hard evidence. They prioritize people knowledge way over product knowledge.
So the professional's process is super structured. First, people knowledge over product. Second, ask questions to discover their true needs. Instead of just guessing, ask them directly. Hey, on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate what you're using right now? What would it take to make it a 10? And finally, over-deliver on the demonstration. Show them, document it, and physically prove double the value of what they are actually spending.
And finally, Section 5, Service Senior to Selling, the noble climax of this entire philosophy. This brings us to the real culmination of our masterclass, a complete, non-negotiable mindset shift. Service is always senior to selling. The absolute best sales technique in the world is profound care. This mirrors author Mark Manson's concept of non-neediness. Think about it. When you are absolutely desperate to close a deal, people can smell it, and it repels them. But when you operate on the unwavering premise of serving a grander purpose, without needing their validation or an immediate payout, that is what permanently separates greatness from mediocrity. You literally have to give of yourself entirely, without reservation. Learn to predict a person's expectations and then entirely surpass them. Customers don't want to have to ask you. They want you to anticipate their needs before they even speak. Give all your attention, all your energy, and all your knowledge. Withhold absolutely none of your care. Because operating from this level of profound, non-needy service ensures that the deal effectively just closes itself.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this provocation. Really look inward right now. Are you entirely sold on your own value? Do you actually possess that fanatical, unshakable conviction? And if you do, are you truly serving the world at a level that absolutely demands unparalleled success? Remember the golden rule here. If you aren't getting your way in life, you simply aren't sold. Master this elegant art and just watch how the entire world opens up for you.